Well, hello, class. In this particular chapter, uh, actually, right now we're starting part two of our, believe it or not, of the book, following along with the book. And part two of the book on Dessler here is recruitment, placement, and talent management. And specifically here, we're looking at chapter six, employee testing and selection. Now, we ask ourselves some questions here. Why is employee selection so important? Well, what it really does is it looks for two things when it comes to how do we test employees. We're always looking for talent management, and how do we know that we have the right employees in the right places? So we need different types of data to validate this. So how do we validate it? We're looking for two things. We need reliable data and we need validity on that data. We have to know that that data is accurate because essentially what we're doing is we're testing against some type of benchmark of, this has been done before someplace, whatever it is that we're testing. And so whenever you do statistics or anything like that, you essentially look for trends. Historically, people have acted a certain way or responded a certain way with different types of testing. And in this day and age, we're essentially looking at digital and social media to be a components on that testing. So that's trend, we call that trend shaping. The other thing is evidence. It's called evidence-based human resources. And that is, okay, we give a test, but how do we validate that test? So we're not biased, okay? We don't stereotype anything. And we're going to talk in this chapter about things like utility analysis and how do we look at, I may have mentioned this before, but every individual that we hire in an organization, okay, we look at as an investment. And often we refer to these hires as profit centers. That means we are looking to invest in an employee so that they can make money for the company. And often we refer to this as human capital. So again, going back, reliability and validity testing. We're also going to be talking a little bit about employment law. And there are certain things that we should know about that when it comes to testing. What questions can we ask and what questions can't we ask? Okay, so remember, individuals that are applying are candidates for organizations. They have individual rights, and there are also test securities depending on the type of job that is being applied for. The other thing we have to take into consideration is diversity. Now, in the 21st century testing, we're looking at gender issues as well. So we have to be cognizant of that. And, also, what types of employees are we testing? Meaning, does the employee testing or the talent management that we're hiring, do these individuals fit in the job function? So there are different types of tests here in this chapter that we're going to consider. And that is, we're going to be looking at tests that relate to cognitive abilities, depending on the type of job. Is it physical? Are we looking at motor and physical abilities? Are we looking at personality tests and different types of interests? Are we looking at tests to improve performance? Those that go above and beyond, achievement tests. So we're going to be looking at different types of assessment centers, and um, we're going to be looking at different types of realistic job previews. And what is the best selection method for hiring talent that's not going to utilize the skills of the employee, but also benefit the company as well? There's a balance between the two. Then finally, we're going to be looking at background investigations and pre-tests and all of that type of thing. Like lie detectors and physical exams. And we're also going to be looking at what are some, this is a big chapter here, what are some of the legal issues when it comes to drug testing and complying with immigration law. So there's a lot here in this chapter. It's going to be a good one. We're going to spend about 3 or 4 days on chapter 6, and there will be some DQs involved, and we'll go from there.